order. I'd like to ask Pastor Chester Davis to say a prayer for us and Chief Jake Richards to lead us in the pledge.
Let us pray. Gracious God, this again, as we come before thee, we come with thanksgiving and honor to thee. We declare that you are our God. And Father God, as we come as a community, seeking your guidance, seeking your blessing, realizing, oh God, that we can't do anything without you. We ask, God, that you guide the hearts and minds of our commissioners, oh God, and our city leaders. We need a blessing. We ask that you cover from the White House down, oh God, to our little section here. We need your blessing. We need your guidance. Touch our hearts and our minds, oh God. Cause us to be united at one. Our soldiers that's in foreign land and our newly elected officials. We ask that you bless us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Please face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Okay, we'll call the January 21st meeting of the City Commission to order. Thank you everyone for coming and braving this cold weather. Before we get into the consent agenda, I'd like to ask City Manager Jim Anderson to update us on the city's plans and what we're doing with this storm alert.
Yes, sir, Mayor. As most of us are aware, Winter Storm Enzo is approaching us. You can see to the north and to the west what Wisconsin is the neighboring states. We're in for, looks like some type of precipitation today, starting around 4 o'clock, potentially freezing sometime between 7 and 8 o'clock tonight. We ask everybody to look out for, especially our elderly, everybody that may be prone to making sure they have adequate heat in their homes, pets, pipes, because if you do look at several hours, we will be below freezing. So please protect those items. Also, we're asking people to stay off the road. To our understanding, the state has come and put down some pre-treatment on the main roads. But that's not going to last long if we have rain or sleet or any other elements. Here in the state of Florida, we don't have the kind of amenities to take care of the issues that you have in the northern states. So we're asking everybody to stay off the road tonight. And we're going to ask the board to, for non-essential personnel, to be let go at 2 o'clock so everybody can get home, take care of their families, and close tomorrow, because what we don't know is the fear of ice. There could be roads that are impassable. We have built up of ice on any of our power lines. We could be without power. So we'll have essential personnel that'll be at our disposal if we need them. But we do have an ice event. It could be tough on our local
Okay, anybody got questions here?
I've got one question.
Yes, sir.
I fully support what you just presented. I'd just like to make sure that we discuss and approve the pay scale for the ones that have to.
Yes,
I'm guessing we would compensate those with the hours of closure plus the hours they actually work.
correct. What would happen is the people, if you declare this as a weather hazard situation based on the governor's recommendation already, the state of emergency, the employees that you do authorize, everybody that's off will get paid their regular time. The folks that come in will get paid that time and a half for the people that physically work during this event, if you approve. Yes.
Say time and a half. In my mind, they would get, let's talk about tomorrow. Let's see. They'd get the 8 hours unless they work a 10 or a 12. They get those hours in conjunction with the additional hours they physically work. Is that, that's double time, not time and a half.
It's double time and a half if you look at the time and a half for the time work.
Yeah. Plus, if it puts them into an overtime situation, you have to pay the overtime.
Is that in your policy? You made that policy
Yeah.
change.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have. Yeah, I'll make a motion based on that we're closing, 2.
Yes, sir. 2 today's recommendation, and let's keep everybody in tomorrow, except for people that we know that we need for essential personnel.
Right. And I think we should have department heads should have the leeway if we happen to have an employee or two that lives quite a ways away. We would give them the flexibility to cut them loose, at their discretion earlier at 2 o'clock if they need to. I don't know if we do, but
Not reference to motion.
Yeah,
Into the pending weather emergency.
right. And the declaration of emergency from the governor, because, again, I think we'll be compensated again through, resources from the state if we have overtime and stuff. So that's the law.
Yeah, that's right. And Mr. Kerrigan made a comment that state of emergency, we will get reimbursed.
Absolutely. At a higher rate.
Okay, there's a motion, there's a second.
Second.
Mr. Kerrigan seconded it. Any more discussion from the board members? Anybody in the public? All in favor, aye. Opposed, sign, motion passed 5-0. All right, we're down the consent agenda, which were the minutes of our January 7th meeting. And hopefully everybody's had a chance to go over those. If there's no additions, corrections, deletions, I'll entertain the motion to approve. Okay. Commissioner Lowry made the motion, there's a second. Second by Commissioner Langston. Any discussion, anyone? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion passed 5-0. All right, we're down to planning board, Jim.
Yes, sir. You got 2 items before you today that are coming down from the planning board. The first one is a development order special exception request to utilize the alley and for a replat for a small subdivision, Rich Family Plaza, parcel 04830-008R through 04830-016. I believe you have Mr. Gregory here today, doing a presentation to you. Any questions right now?
Forward, please.
Good afternoon. I'm Ray Greer. My address is 2910 Cary Ford Parkway, Tallahassee, Florida. I am the applicant representative. And what we have today, we've got 2 exceptions, special exceptions in front of you. And I do want to just briefly talk about the special exceptions. They apply to this property, but they're not unique to this property. Both of them are inherent issues with the LDR that I have talked to Jim about and that we have got noted. We've got a long list of LDR issues that we're going to fix in a complete update to the LDRs at a later date. But the first item is the alley definition in the LDR. And in the definition of the alley in the land development regulations, it states that an alley cannot be used, but only for secondary access. And of course, this defeats the purpose of traditional neighborhood development design, all modern concepts in new development. And it is an inherent problem there. And then in addition to it, it doesn't take into account health, safety, welfare for the citizens. And giving, like in this development, the way this applies, and there's a couple in the city that this is applied to, this definition, where we have a subdivision that we have 13 lots that would back out on Highway 71. The development is located at Garrison in 71. And of course, having 13 lots up there that all their driveways was back out on 71 creates a health safety issue, not only for the citizens of 13 homes, but also the residents of the community too. So in the definition update, one of the things that we are going to do is put in there that the city has the discretion to make that call where health, safety, welfare. If that applies, then they can make the decision whether or not how the alley is used. And so that's the first one. And so in a later date, we will update that definition. The second one applies to small scale subdivisions. The language in the LDRs and the subdivision section of the LDRs is really ambiguous. And when you read it, you can read it 3 different times and you get a different outlook. It looks like the way it's written that it applies to replats, that you can't replat anything platted, which makes absolutely no sense. I don't know any local government in the state of Florida that doesn't allow for that. The county has the very same language in their land development regulations also. They don't interpret it that way. And so one of the things that we're going to do is clean that language up also. And so we've asked just to cover everything on this subdivision. We've asked for special exceptions for those 2 items, so they'll be addressed. And then at a later date, you'll see those in the LDR cleanup, both of those items. And then the third thing that we have in front of you is the subdivision. So we have a 13 lot subdivision that we're asking for subdivision plat that's in front of you today. The 13 lots consist of 11 platted lots, and we're replatting it, making it 13. All 13 lots, the setbacks and the ODRs apply. We're not asking for any deviations from that. They all apply to the lot. And in addition to it, we're encompassing the alley that's owned by the city of Port St. Joe into the subdivision. It will be paved, stormwater will be applied, and the whole 13 acres and the alley will all drain into a stormwater pond, which before, prior to the platted, just 11 lots, doesn't exist. So it is a benefit to everybody to have the development, and it will also be a unique development in sense that if you allowed it to develop 11 lots as they are, there'd be no stormwater. You get an alley that wasn't paved. So the alley doesn't only benefit this development, it also benefits the block behind them too, and provides, for other connections and interactions inside this whole entire area for the city of Port St. Joe. I'd be glad to answer any questions you may have.
Where does that alleyway go now?
But see, it actually stops. It goes down because there's a ditch that runs through there and it stops. So there's warehouses and stuff that are located behind it can access it through the alley. You can access them through the alley. You could. This alley will be open and paved, so it'll provide a more access through that area, through that block, basically.
Will it open it up?
No, because you still have to
You still have that
cross that
low
ditch.
spot.
Yeah,
So it'll mainly just go back out to First Street.
it would serve, exactly. It would serve that block behind it.
Yeah, you answered my question, if y'all were gonna pave the alley, so, yeah. That was my bad. Sorry.
Yep, it definitely will be fixed.
All right, everybody understand what they're asking for? All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve, the development order, the exception request.
So moved.
Mr. Hoffman made a motion. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Kerrigan. Discussion.
Mr. Mayor, I'll need to abstain, I've got a relationship, so.
Okay, all right. I've got one question. I see Mr. Bridge out there, and, when we, when you first opened that development grant, then we cut a newly paved road to create some infrastructure for that development. And, would you guys think about, when you're paving the alley, pave that big dip right there in the middle of Garrison Avenue?
Yes.
So that's just, well, I ran over it this morning and I said, ding, okay, let's see if we can get them just that one area to smooth it back out. Y'all be willing?
I don't mind doing that, but I thought we went in there and we did that prior to the new road being cut, because that was the whole reason we went in there first and the new road was cut, because we put it in there and actually brought in some more material.
That was, I guess, the compaction issue.
Yeah.
is what,
Because I remember we got in there before, but yes, sir, the short answer, is we will do that.
right, but, you think about doing that,
We will.
we'd appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Help us out. Okay, any more discussion? Discussion from the public, anyone? Come right up.
Good afternoon, Walter Branch. So, and this, there's an alley there. I mean, that in between, halfway in between that block, that's where the alley is.
I think so, yes, sir.
So this project's been going on so why are we asking for this now? Why wasn't this asked for 3 years ago when this was brought up?
They've had a different development. They were gonna put in a shopping center.
Okay.
And now they're putting in individual, residential units.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. With me saying that, is the city hall and the fire station will be right across, is that where it was voted in, or is it a different place?
Across the street from there,
Is
in
it
the old
going-
Woodlands office
So
area.
in no way would this, more development interfere with, coincide with that, everything is figured out for everybody getting along around that area.
It might make it more convenient for those residents to access City Hall.
Appreciate it.
Yes,
Thank you.
sir. Anybody else? All in favor, aye? Opposed, same sign, motion passed 5-0. 4-0, one extension. Thank you. Okay,
The next item we have, Mayor, comes down from planning board special section requested sign regulations for Johnson Realty Development, which is 3155 East Highway 98, parcel number 04560-050R. We took from Mingo Hotel. Good afternoon.
sign in, please, Mr. John.
Steve, we got to wait, so they're right back. Gentlemen, in 4 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Good afternoon. My name is Charlie Johnson. I'm representing the property 3155 on Highway 98, formerly known as the Dixie Belle Motel. We did some remodeling there, and I'm asking for a sign variance to put a sign on my property. The sign is going to be approximately 17 feet tall, but in consideration, Highway 98 is about 4 to 5 foot higher than my property is. And I'm going to be about 50 foot off the road on my property with the sign. So with the sign, without the sign variance, there's no sense in me putting a sign size that I can put up that far off the road. And we did a lot of detailed looking and shopping, and this sign's really going to make the motel. It's a vintage roadside inn. And this sign will really make the whole project come together and look nice. And I'm asking for your vote to let me do this.
Okay, questions?
I would say you did more than a remodel. I'd say an overhaul. That thing, I remember going into that motel. It was pretty rough. A while, very rough. But I think he's done a good job. I'm not crazy about the color, but I understand why you wanted to stick out.
I had to do something a little different. I'm just a little tin room on the side of the road, so I had to do something that was different to draw
Yeah.
people. Y'all got beautiful motels in town. I had to do something a little different to get attention.
Yeah, and I completely understand that. And I believe you'll do well there. What is, I guess my question is, how high are you looking to bury it from?
I guess under the current rules, my sign will be about 17 feet and it'll be about 5 by 10. I think your current rules right now, sign ordinance is 14 feet. I think, don't quote me on that.
That's correct.
And it's about 4 by 8 is the rule right now.
So based on that, so it appears that little peak of the star.
Yeah.
That probably gets you over the.
That'll wind up being a little bit higher, yes, sir. That'll get me over. But with the consideration that the road is 4 or 5 foot higher
Right.
than where I'm at now, if you brought that into consideration, I'd be back down at.
Yeah.
If you was right by the road and at a normal elevation, but at that elevation, it's way different.
Because of the lowness of.
Yeah,
that
because of the
property.
loads. And the sign's gonna sit inside the fence on my property.
What was the vote of the planning board?
They voted
Voted. That's all
I think if we do it, we're gonna do it. I mean, you can see what kind of job we've done out. We're gonna do a first class job. We want to be part of the state and we want to be part of Fort St. Joe. I'm looking to come here and develop and do other things.
Your explanation as to height and whatnot, saying 17 feet,
Yes, sir.
because of the grade of how it comes down,
Yes, sir.
as far as if you were to shoot a linear horizontal line from the highway.
Yes, sir.
If you were to grade your property and bring your property up to there and actually put the sign in and put it up, you would not be at 17 feet with ground level.
And the reason that you're doing 17 feet is for that reason, so,
What is it, 5 feet?
make up for that 5 feet.
to go down the hole, just so when you're coming down instead of eye level, when you look at it, you see it, and it just looks real nice. And I need to see people coming from the east and the west, when they just, they'll see it.
You're gonna meet the roadside variant, roadside setbacks with sign and all that.
Yeah, it's gonna be on our side of the fence on our property, yes, sir. It won't be on any state right away or anything.
What year was the sign ordinance created? Anybody know?
It's been amended a few times. The initial one out on your LDR was 2008, but through the years, the board went back and.
And the reason I bring that up is, I don't know how far back or the date that we actually incorporated that property. I'm guessing it might have been part of when we took in Whitmore and all of that. That may not even have been a part of the discussion back this, but see, me personally, I will, look at, first of all, what the planning board recommends. That's why we have it, keep politics out of signs. And then second, in my mind, what I would like to see is the 98 corridor is held at a higher standard because it gets so congested so easily. Can be problematic. I get that. And I think the planning board agree. But when you go, what, 1.5 miles, 2 miles on the 98 corridor, I don't think we should impose those same rules for a place like you're talking about. It doesn't make good sense to me. So I'm going to support the side.
Thank you, sir.
And you can come, I want to bring board up to date on my attending the PDRB meeting the day that they approved it. There were four PDRB members at present at that time. And I lobbied for the city to ask them to protect city ordinances. And in this case, the sign ordinance had been on the books a good long time. When we crafted it, we held workshops, we had citizen input, so on and so forth. And that's what we came up with. And I talked to Mr. Johnson and his sign builder there and asked him to retrofit it somewhat, that it would become a little closer to the ordinance we had on books. So what we seem to have been getting into with the PDRB is PDRB overriding our ordinances that we craft and talk about and work with. I think that's not something that want to happen. And it appears that they have approved everything that's been before them for a good long time. And I asked them, just to think about that. And of course, we'll have to think about it too in the future when we may have to change somewhat of the PDRB bylaws or whatever we set forth. And we have done it once since you guys have been on this board on setbacks and so forth. That doesn't PDRB doesn't rule on those anymore. It's all those come to us. So anyway, that being said, I just wanted to let you guys know that I did appear before PDRB and ask them to not approve it as it said. So anyway, okay. Any more comments from the board? All right, I'll entertain a motion.
Question to approve.
Okay, Mr. Lowry made the motions. There's a second. Second by Commissioner Hopper. Okay, further discussion from the board. Any discussion from audience? All in favor, aye?
Okay.
Opposed? No. Motion passed. Good luck to you.
I think.
Yes, sir. Good luck. All right, next item is the city engineer. And there, of course, he's socked in Jackson County. And, so you have before you his, recommendations, updates. So Jim, you want to, go over that, or you want John to do it?
Yes, sir, I can start it off. The projects, we're getting to all of our projects kicked back off again after the holiday season on there. So we got everything started to reset last week. We got weather coming in again this week, so it's been tough. But we have kicked off the project again with L&K as far as the water lines that are downtown. So that's moving along again, starting last week. We also have street paving. If you've not had a chance to go down Allen Memorial, check it out. They did a really good job. That got a new base and it's been paved within the last week there. So that was a big project there. Let's look down the list. We'll see Avenue C and Battle coming to you in a few minutes on there. We'll receive bids on it. We'll bring that to you in a few minutes for consideration. And complex, we did have a conference with your architect. He is working on that, so hopefully we'll see a rendering coming down shortly on it.
Can he give you a timeline on that?
I'm not heard. Just says he's working on it. We should have something. All right. Any other questions?
Any questions on the floor?
One thing, Jim, in the last meeting, I mentioned about addressing traffic flow and whatnot through residential areas and, looking into speed tables and stuff. I did talk to Josh and he was gonna get some information. I was gonna ask him today when he found out. I'll see if I can find out, just get an update for him and we'll get that to me.
Okay, next item is the, Mr. City Attorney.
Yes, Mayor, one thing on the agenda today, and that is ordinance 616, it's a voluntary annexation request. I'd be asking you guys to vote on today would be for the first reading of the ordinance. A request to notify the county, because you're aware in an annexation, we have to notify the county, and a request to advertise. Jim has been a little bit more involved in this, I did the background. Where this is.
This was actually brought to us from the actual owner itself. You turn over to page 20. There's the ordinance itself. The parcel is the parcel that is out on Industrial Road. It's on the other side of our wastewater treatment plant.
Jim, why are they asking for a annexation?
To my understanding, I believe they have actually went to the county previously before Rick White. And, I don't think they were successful in getting a development order. So to my understanding, now they're coming to you to see about annexing, being parts.
What was the reason? Why?
That I don't know.
I was told that, the county told the developer, this is from the developers, that said the county was not willing to change the, from industrial, it's currently industrial, and the county not to change it in any way to allow anything other just industrial. And, like these want to do like marinas and shop and houses, which would be, I guess, mixed use. So that's what I was trying to ask why he did decide, well, maybe I have more success with the city.
Yeah. And it's currently surrounded by city property,
On 3 sides.
3 sides.
What's on the fourth side?
You have the canal.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
I think my only concern is we're getting along with the county, I feel like right now. And we had an issue a while back, some annexation issues, which stirred a little bit of conflict. That's my main concern. I mean, I feel like we just get along real well. So I don't know, I haven't discussed anything with the county regarding this, but, administration. I'd like to do that, before we make an approval.
This, remember today is just the first reading, it's not the final.
Right.
Yeah, it's just a step
It's stuff we have to, it's the first reading, the order.
to advertise it.
And notify the county, we have to send them a certified letter letting them know we're gonna do this, advertise it. And if we get through all that, we come back for a second reading and adoption.
And then what you would have to do after that, if you brought it into the city, then you would have to come back and do a large scale plan amendment to give it a land use category. So there's a lot of steps for that.
Yeah, it's a little waste.
Is the guy? Guy here? Anybody here, Reverend? I just don't see any negatives to this thing at all. It would be just astronomical boost to the city ad valorem tax base and our utilities. And, it would be a boon to the city. If the county allows something to happen, we'll get zero. And so I can't see any negatives to it. I'm very open to what some of those might be. But, I'm excited about it.
Answer your question. I think Mr. Fields is here. I don't know if he wants.
And someone correct me if I misspeak, but the way I understand this tax abatement, then, the county would still receive every penny. But
Yeah.
either way,
Either
either
way.
one's in the city, but yeah, I remember we had that.
They get that part.
Right, right.
Absolutely.
So it wouldn't really be hurt for some county, other than should be
Boosting them
huge boost for the city.
and the county.
And I agree with Commissioner Lowry that there's been, issues, controversy and, between the city and the county, and I've been familiar with most of it, I don't mind telling you that. So I haven't always agreed with the county, still don't always, I don't agree with the city half the time. But I'm just gonna say that, yeah, I agree, that we have done some things to make things better. But at the same time, it would be tough to sit here as a voice and representative of the city and the people that vote. That's really who owns the city. And vote no to something that financially could be a huge impact. And the more money you have coming in from new development, the more likely we can start reducing water bills and having better roads, and those kind of things. So I'm like the mayor, if there's something I'm missing that would be a negative impact to the city, I'd like to hear it.
The only thing I can think of would be competition with St. Joe Company. Ruffled their feathers.
Oh, there's no doubt that the St. Joe Company is not gonna be thrilled to hear that we may not approve a new arena. I get that, but, we should have never sold the marina to St. Joe Company in the first place, but, that's old news. So, yeah, and I agree that, they're not gonna like it, but it's not like they're dumping millions of dollars in grant money to Port St. Joe the way they do to Bay County, so.
My opinion is we do need to keep good relationships between city and county best we can moving forward. But in this particular case, this is a win-win. It should, in my eyes, should not be a controversy between city and the county. The county is still going to get their money. At the end of the day, the developer is paying the additional taxes by incorporating into the city, being annexed into the city, then versus staying in the county, correct?
And this is only the first reading, so we still have time to,
Yes.
think about some things, whether negative or positive, so,
It's not a final.
right.
Well, I think it's fair to say that the county has a standing policy right now that if any land that's in the county wants to come and annex into the city, their policy, I believe, is that they will
I think they
sue
made
the
that
city. But I also had the opportunity to watch a county meeting months and months ago. And I think it had to do with this development right over here. And I heard, if memory serves me well, that the county administrator had indicated that, yes, we have a standing policy to sue on any annexations, but if it's completely surrounded by city property, most likely we will lose that lawsuit. And I feel confident in saying that the county attorney also agreed with that statement. So, yeah, we'll probably be sued, held up in a lawsuit, but ultimately, I believe we would be successful.
Any other comments? Okay, I'll entertain a motion for ordinance 616 annexation request, first reading, and request to notify the county and advertise. Mr. Kerrigan made the motion, there's a second. Mr. Hoffman second the motion. Okay, no any more discussion from the board?
I do get half of the thing. Okay. Jim, will you ask the developer to be at the next meeting?
Yes, sir.
The next hearing.
Open the board and mind the public.
Mr. Hoffman, I'm gonna agree with you today, and it's, I appreciate
Hold on,
it.
let me write that down.
So, I've heard, and, I'm pro county, pro city. I've been county resident all my life and city 35 years. Me saying that. Now, the last retreat meeting just the other day, just like it was brought up about the lawsuit, it seems to me every time the city wants to annex more than just a few acres, then, oh, let's have a lawsuit, let's have a lawsuit. But let's remember, this meeting Tuesday, the county, what was said there, and that their main agenda was the airport. With this annex coming in, you can throw a rock from here to the airport. They talk about economic development. It's whatever suits them the given day. Now, they want to spend to something I feel like we don't need as a city or county. We don't need a $500 million airport or whatever. You can't even drive the roads now. Now, let's remember, all this land is on that industrial road and this same development. Let's stand strong and help the city. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Any more comments from the public? All in favor, aye. Opposed, same sign, motion passes 5-0.
Ordinance number 616, ordinance providing for the voluntary annexation of parcel ID number 03013-001R, parcel ID number 04269-000R, providing a legal description of the lands to be annexed, more specifically described in this ordinance as petitioned by the property owner pursuant to section 171.044 Florida statutes, providing for the redefining of the city boundaries to include said lands, making certain findings, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir. All right, old business, Jim.
Yes, sir. The first item we have is current city projects. If you'll turn over to page 31 and 32, which we discussed much of these earlier.
Everything on all these projects going according to plan?
We're getting them back on track. Yes, sir, mate.
Okay, any questions on city projects? All right, new business?
Yes, sir. The first item is Clark Smith. Mr. Smith is not here today with us on there. We talked to him earlier today. Due to inclement weather on the way, it would be best that we could give him a call to get him online to see. But what you're faced with is trying to make some determination of what you want to do with legislative appropriation. Mayor, do you want to get him on the phone so we can?
Give him his phone number.
Yes, sir.
You got it? Okay, give him a call then. Steve's got it.
Okay. But yeah, sir, he's gonna kind of get you up to date as to what we need to do.
Hey, sir. Hey, Clark, we've got you live here so we can, go over the issues we want to talk about.
All right, I got to figure out, I'll talk to Brian in here with me.
Good deal. How you doing, Clark?
Doing good, how you, Mr. Mayor?
I'm doing fine, doing fine. We, of course, the session's gonna open pretty soon. And, we would, just chat with you a little bit and let you, help us on, what might be looking good available for the city for the coming year. We'll start with that.
Well, I talked to Jason this morning, and I talked to Senator Simon last week. And I think what we'd like to do is kind of, if we could prioritize what our asks are going to be, and give Brian and I a couple of days to go chase them down. In fact, Jason and I are going to do a call today after 2, and I told him I'll try to have all this and let us go through it and let them kind of mull it over and see what they think compared on what their other asks are, and work on trying to get them to prioritize what we really need. So, at the end of the day, the budget, the forecasters are saying that they continue to spend recurring dollars the way they have been. It's, potential for large deficit in coming years. So they've kind of said it's going to be a little bit lighter this year than it was last year, but this isn't the first time they've said that, and that always has a tendency to change. And I did talk to Jeff Sharkey this morning about the road for the affordable housing project, and he felt like some of the numbers had changed, and he was going to check on that today and get back with me. But that's kind of where we are right now.
Okay, all right. We'll, I'm gonna open up the board members at this time, and, we can talk about, what we feel like, we need to prioritize for you. Maybe 3 to 5 items, is 5 asking too much, or of those 5, we need to prioritize, like, let's say the top 3, is that what you would suggest?
And I think let's get all 5 down, but let's figure out order of priority for us. And then I think, the other thing will be incumbent upon us to follow up with Sean and, figure out if we can identify some potential federal grant opportunities. But let's do that. Let's get everything we need and let's kind of prioritize it and figure it out from there.
Okay, all right. Who wants to go first?
Hey, Clark, good to see you, Gary.
Hey,
I saw the email that came through to us talking about the delegation meetings. I see that Gulf County is going to be Monday. It's like it's at 2:30 to 3:30. But again, that's on Monday. So it's kind of imperative that we have a bit of a game plan. I mean, we definitely have, I definitely have way more than 5 asks for the city right now. But we need to really think about what's going to be accessible. And you guys are the ones in the trenches there and have the access to the legislators to guide us into saying what is going to be that low-lying fruit that we need to kind of concentrate on. I mean, we have multiple projects, but if we're talking about a budget being shorter than last year, well, last year, in my opinion, we got the short end of the stick in Fort St. Joe. Yeah. So I think we need to prioritize maybe more of where they're where they're kind of leaning to where they're going to give rural municipalities and counties and stuff those types of items that we probably need to be concentrating on, whether that's through Clean Water Acts and stormwater management. And it would help us have a game plan to say, okay, because we need to really put the pressure on Jason Show and Corey Simon of what our needs are But at the same time, we need to know that these are attainable needs. In other words, we don't want to spend too much time asking for this or that in the back of all their heads are saying you're never gonna get it. I want,
And that's what we want to take to them and talk through the projects with them. And I think we've got a good argument because we did get shorted last year. But yeah, I mean, I want to utilize what our goals are to obtain some of that information from them. Honestly, there has not been a lot of focus leading up to the inauguration. I think the entire Republican legislature was up in Washington since last Saturday. So I think, and judging by the telephone traffic over the last 24 hours, it's starting to get busy and people are starting to get focused on stuff coming up. So that was kind of our plan, Steve.
Until we know, get an idea what the low line fruits are, how do we know how to prioritize, what we need, you know? So I think that should be the goal first, finding out what we should actually be doing and what we can get. Without spinning wheels trying to get the same thing and getting turned down for it. You know, like the road, for the affordable housing. I mean, it was, I think it was the last minute when we heard that we didn't get it, you know, I mean, it went as far as to the government debt, you know, and we didn't receive anything. So I think that instead of spinning wheels, let us know what we can get, what we have more, a higher percentage of getting, and let's shoot for that. I mean, because if we, put things in priority, we need to know that we can get this before we get those things in order to put what's first or second or whatever. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. And like on the road, the developers representative and I are going to go to the governor's office in budget and get an understanding as to why that was vetoed and what we need to do different to get early buy-in from them. So that's kind of our plan on that. Like I said, he said that he thought the number had changed on what they needed to ask for. So he was figuring that out today. I think that's one that I would consider that low-lying fruit and one that we definitely need to go after. And I feel like it's a path for that. I feel like there's a path and a good story for us to tell, and because they've already bought in on our public safety municipal building. So I mean, I think those two are two that we definitely need to go after. And honestly, it's kind of outside of where the legislature globally is going to be focused on. It's going to be difficult this year with all the storms last year. I think a lot of money will go toward recovery, but I feel like, and then I want to get this to Senator Simon and Representative Shows prior to their delegation meeting. Because really, like getting Corey's buy-in on one of these projects is going to be immensely helpful. And I think, you guys all know the investments that were made to get him reelected. The Florida legislature's got a lot of political funds tied up with Corey, and they want to see his constituency happy. So I think getting him to buy in on, specifically, I was thinking in the public safety building, I think we can get somewhere. I think you'll see a lot of the formulas from previous years, though, as far as spending, pretty much the same. Like I said, the only outlier I think is the funding that'll go to the affected areas for the hurricanes.
Clark, this is Commissioner Lowry. Appreciate you getting on the phone with us today. Other than the big items that you've already heard about, two items I have, and Jason can probably pretty much vouch for this as he lives here, but Woodward Avenue and Marvin Avenue, We're doing a lot of paving, but all the paving we're fixing to do doesn't have water and sewer up under these roads. These two roads that I'm referring to, Woodward Avenue and Marvin Avenue, do have infrastructure under the roads, water and sewer, and they desperately need repaving. So if you would talk to them about those two roads.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
Do we have any idea what kind of money, what kind of dollar figure we're looking at?
We haven't even, I don't believe we've got even an estimate on, but it just gets real expensive when you've got to go replace the water and sewer up under those roads. That 1950s terracotta pipe.
Yeah. I get it, roots grow into them and everything else.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And also, while we're checking into that, I think we need to focus on, Avenue, from Avenue A, the battle, we can get some help, some funds, with the infrastructure down Battle Street. We definitely need to make that a priority. I don't know how we go for, well, yes, I do, I know how we go for, we put it in your hand. And, it allow you to, work with, trying to, put that on the list as far as a priority for this year, we could. They, help us out or, help us with the infrastructure, it'll be real.
And on Avenue A,
Avenue A, Northport, St. Joe, down Battle to Avenue F. Yes.
okay,
Mr. Hoffman?
Hey, thanks for being on the phone. This is Scott Hoffman, one of the city commissioners. I'm gonna just go down the list and a couple of the things already been brought up, but I prioritized the list. Number one, I think needs to be absolute ask. It can't be put off anymore. So my number one ask is we need help with our sewer plant. Right now we are battling DEP among other groups, trying to do the best we can with the system we have. The system we currently have dates back to the paper mill, and it was built in such a large capacity because of the paper mill. And now I believe we're the only, maybe two, I think we're the only sewer plant in the entire state of Florida that has this massive lagoon system. We have residents who live close by that complain during the summer because of the smell, and rightly so. I've smelled it too. But our hands are tied with the small budget that we have. But the message to our legislators and to the governor's office especially needs to be of the importance of protecting the St. Joe Bay. The ecological system of Gulf County depends on a current safe sewer system. And we're literally less than probably 500 yards to Pristine Bay, one of the only bays in the state of Florida that's labeled pristine. We saw what happened down just north of Tampa a few years ago when they had a break in a sewer system. Immediately, the governor and the legislatures of Florida sent millions, hundreds of millions of dollars to make sure that that sewer system did not get into Tampa Bay. We're faced with that possibility, and we need some help. And we're not talking $1 million, we're not talking 10 million. We're talking $100 million would be what it took to start based on what we're hearing from Kevin, who runs the plant. So that's number one. Number two is you just spoke on the city complex. We need that. I think our citizens would appreciate a new place to go and do business with our city. Number three, we've already heard two commissioners bring it up, and I have it at number three, but it's quite important. That's roads. We have a list of roads that we need. and we need a lot of money for roads. Number 4 comes in for a new bathroom at Core Park. The county is working with us, the TDC is trying to help with us, but we need additional funding from the state of Florida to have a nice bathroom there, at Core Park in the city. Those are the things that I see as a priority. And I don't mind telling you, I was extremely disappointed with the outcome last year. I realized that I can't lay all the blame on you and your firm, but I lay some of the blame on you and your firm. I think we need to do a better job this year, and I'm hoping for better results. I know on the news here recently, I've seen the city of Bonifay, city of Marietta, city of Chipley, all these small rural communities receiving huge amount of money. I believe there's a grant out there that literally is labeled rural communities in the state of Florida. And I'm not seeing anything in Port St. Joe. I definitely would consider our community, even our county, a rural community. We have three lights in the whole county. We're about as rural as we can get, and there's funding there, and we need some help from your firm to get a fair share of that type of money. But thank you for the opportunity to speak to you, and I hope to see you at the Capitol.
Yes, sir.
Clark, this Rex, I think just about with all the discussion I've heard that they hit every item that I had in mind.
Okay.
Of course, we can say road paving or basically I'm putting that all together under infrastructure. If that can be done, of course, you've sent us some money for paving and we're just about to spend it up from last year. I did the math on what we're getting from your firm and we're getting a 90% return on our money, which I think is pretty good, but we're also ready to hit a home run. And so we're hoping for that, but I don't have any problem with any of these. If we want to prioritize them the way Commissioner Hoffman brought them up, I hope for that suggestion. If not, we could, flip them around and see based on what you will tell us later on. Like Commissioner Langston said, what are our real chances to get these items, and that might cause us to prioritize them differently. But anyway, that's all I have for Clark. Anybody else?
Clark, in summation, I think, you mentioned, speaking with Sean Preston, who's assisting us on grant writing, federal funding, tapping local access for raising money. And so, just work closely with him. Let us come up with ideas, and basically at the end of the day, I think we're saying we're going to give you a deck of cards, and you know who you're playing, and you know what hand to play, so you can shuffle however you think you're going to get the best results for us.
Okay. Yeah, we'll get to work on these and we'll get you guys a report back and see where we land and try to come up with some options, specifically on the sewer plan. I'd like to believe we get some federal money from somewhere we can figure out where and get a grant and just show some effort. And I think that'll go a long way with the legislature.
Clark, did I understand that President Trump was going to make a huge announcement today on infrastructure projects? Did I hear that?
I heard that this morning, but I've not seen it yet.
Right. I think maybe it's at 2:00. It might be, but anyway, it's supposed to be a big one. So that would be good if it was for infrastructure. That would increase our chances.
Yeah.
Yes, Jim, I think Jim Anderson had a comment.
Clark, when is the deadline we need to get these applications into you? I know you sent them to us last week. I didn't know if we had a deadline yet.
Did you hear him? What's the deadline?
I'll send that to you in just a minute. I gotta get to my computer, but I'll send it to you in just a minute, Jim.
Okay, thank you, Clark.
Okay, because Jason and Corey are gonna be here next week, and I would, they always course, ask what the city would like, so I want to make sure, Monday, the 27th is when it is here. I'll make sure I get the right info from my board to bring that up to those gentlemen. So, that's what we'll do.
And I'll brief them up prior to that, about those permits.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Any other comments? You got any closing comments, Clark?
Sure, I'm good. We got our orders. We're gonna get after it, get back to y'all like that.
Okay, bud. Yo, take care. Thanks a lot. Be safe.
Thank you. Thank y'all.
Right. So let's recap those items, and Ms. Charlotte, make sure you get does anybody have any objection with the items that have been brought up? And particularly Commissioner Hoffman's, list, I guess you would say.
Yeah, I think we need to add, with the infrastructure as far as the road and whatnot for the affordable housing. And it's affordable housing, workforce housing is critical to this area. And the area is going to, is obviously everybody knows it's going to continue to grow. Right now, we are a tourism driven industry. We have a higher and higher for family medium income coming in, which makes it more and more challenging for grant writers and whatnot to try to get grants because it's a higher, higher level. So you don't qualify for someone in a more rural area where they have a $40,000 household income. So not only do we need to continue talking about this access road and how we were working with Oikos and whatnot for workforce housing, we need to even think a little bit broader, and we need to find maybe some other people that specialize in affordable housing and where we're going and what's new and stuff. I've done some research on it, and I do have someone coming in on next Thursday who's going to meet with me to talk about some of what they're doing in other areas and whatnot. Not so much in the Panhandle right now, but they're looking at the Panhandle, doing sustainable housing, 3D modeling type stuff. So I'll let everybody know what I learned. Come back.
Right. Anybody else got any comments? We got that list from Commissioner Hoffman minutes there, so I can piggyback off those when I'm up here before the delegation on the 27th. Anybody else got any addition add to it? Of course, we can add as we go along pretty much, but that's a good start. That's a good start. So, all right, let's move on to the fee waiver request from the Junior Service League for the Centennial Building. I think everybody got their letter. So we'll need a motion to waive that, start the conversation, so forth. So I got any comments on it?
I do. I think for something like what the Junior Service League does, the Junior Service League does a lot for the community. They give everything that they've read, said, give back to the school systems and the kids and backpack programs and whatnot. That's awesome. And I know at the same time, we implemented these fees and whatnot to protect our municipal buildings and whatnot as well. I don't have a problem with waiving anything. I just think that we need to still remember that if there's some type of damage or something done when you're there, that it is not the city's responsibility to fix what someone has done. And I think that's what the deposits and so what. So I think that's something we need to think about. I have no problem waiving anything for charitable events.
I agree, Commissioner. That's really we've got two building
for now, and we just need to look after it. I'll make a motion. Go wait for the service.
Okay. Mr. Lowry made the motion, there's a second. Second by Commissioner Kerrigan. Discussion.
Are we waiving all the fees? Yes, that same question last time this came.
Well, let's see. So waiving all expenses. So, and they're allowed to, they want to waive them all. Oh, so,
Only two positive.
right.
Yeah.
But at some point in time, like Mr. Kerrigan said, we're gonna have to ask these organizations that are raising some money for the deposit, knowing that they're gonna get it back and take care of our facilities, anywhere in the city, any facility. We've just got to some point in time, we gotta draw the line.
Yes, I don't disagree.
Yeah, so, but anyway, there's a motion and a second. Any further discussion on that? Anybody from the audience? All in favor, aye? Opposed, same sign, motion passed 5-0. Okey-dokey, next item, Jim.
Yes, sir. It's that time of year to look at, lease agreements that we have on the Washington Gym Complex for the Career Source Coach lease agreements. One is for the incubator building and the other one is for the gym itself, the Spraying Grant for the summer first.
And, Mr. McCahill, you reviewed these and
Yeah, they'll be the same lease we've been operating.
that's what I want to know. Anything changed?
I just did for the time, the term,
When did it change from?
just re-upping it. Meaning,
Okay, the same amount of time?
Yes.
Okay. Why is it called the incubator?
Years ago, there was a program, incubator program that was put in place in that building itself through the workforce board to help incubate new businesses coming. So they call that startups. It's actually their office. They have a computer room in there. They have, set up in there for every job placement. It's a one-stop shop in and out. And we're waiting too to get a new roof put on there too. We fixed the part the other day. I had discussion with the county that hopeful the contract will be on the ground within the next 2 weeks, put that roof in for the second phase.
Okay,
So move to approve, please.
all right. Incubator building lease to the Career Source, or Mr. Lowry made the most of their second. And second by Mr. Lance. Any discussion? Anybody? All in favor, aye? Opposed, same sign, motion passed 5-0. All right, next. Washington Gym and surrounding grounds.
Question on that.
Wait just a minute, we get a motion, then we'll have discussion. Mr. Marvin. Okay, so, all falling on the Career Source. The lease agreement is the same as it has been. And so I'll entertain a motion to approve the Washington Gym and surrounding grounds. So, okay, Commissioner Hoffman and Commissioner Langston, second. Okay. Any more discussion from the board? Okay, Marvin, come up, or anybody want to discuss the lease?
Marvin Davis, 324 Avenue B. The question about with the lease that I have, and I've been having for quite some time, and that is the gym. Why does the workforce, whatever you call it, has to have control over that gym? Especially when I see a great need for that gym being used for the kids in our community, not just on the community of North St. Joe, but the kids from this whole entire city. That gym will be better utilized than just for workforce to be storing stuff and not being utilized for our youth. I have a real concern about that. And how can we the community get it from underneath workforce so we can utilize it more and more, for the youth activity. One idea I had brought up recently, not recently, but when I first came here in 17, that'd be a good place for, a boy and girl club. We don't have that. But there'd be a good place for, YMCA. But really, I'm more so of a boy and girl club. I'm very familiar with them during my time I was living in Central Florida. It would be beneficial for our kids if we give out more things, we can organize for our kids. So that's what my concern right there, I guess. Why do workforce have to have control over that gym? Why can't we have a Department of Recreation oversee it typically?
And,
The other, go ahead.
I was gonna say, this is only during the summer months, there's a summer recreation program. This is when the workforce board puts the program on during the summer months. This lease is only from June 1st through August of each year. Now, the other portion is in the first day of August, 10 feast per year for the 2 storage buildings. The 2 storage buildings, they need year round because they store their stuff in it. But the actual gym itself, this lease only pertains to the summer months.
And they run a summer program, and they have that run. It actually serves 400 plus kids in our community every single summer. They bring in, they hire teen interns, and I've been out there every summer, and they do an amazing job. And I believe that if they didn't do it, no one. They would come out there, put together something, it wouldn't last 2 months, then it just go away.
I believe if we organize a good youth and recreation program, we can. I think you give it to that community. I think we will.
And you can do that today. When their summer program ends, yours could start the day after. Because they only have it a certain amount of time. And I would love to see someone like yourself say, well, I want to create an additional summer program or a fall program or a summer or a spring. Nobody's ever done it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're more than welcome to put together something like that.
And also, we have 2 young men that have AAU basketball practice team and they open the gym throughout the week. Now, as far as the program after workforce, they do spend time with kids. They have kids going in and out during the summer. Anything after that, I don't see anything wrong with someone coming in and having any kind of program. With this piece of stuff. So,
Okay, good.
I support anything.
We will look into that. But I also want to bring up too about, I know we've been talking about the funding that's grants supposed to came down to help renovate that gym. That's county. Where's the funds at?
You go to the county.
Okay, good. I'm glad you brought that up. Cause I was in a meeting, I think it was last week. And I think that came up and it's still up in Washington DC.
Well, I don't know. That's what they said. I guess
But I thought we were talking about some things too, that at the city level that we will do to help also with the gym. I thought that was brought up.
like what?
I can't remember what was some of the projects that we said we was gonna do.
Okay, Mr. Marvin, thank you. We'll
My 3 minutes
move
up.
on from that.
Yeah, thank
You know
you.
where I live at?
Okay, come up.
Well, I guess I'll start with the gym. One thing the gym needs there is some heating. We was out there yesterday for the MLK celebration. Man, it was like sitting in a refrigerator. So if they can work on some heating in there, that'll be a start on that. As far as the career source building, the building that they're going to do the roof, well, they put the tarp on there. I can't even remember how long ago. It's been at least 2 months for sure, but it's been a while. The tarp blew off, and when it rained, that's when they put the tarp on. It rained inside. The tarp blew off, it rained again. I mean, it just puddles of water everywhere. Thank God they have plastic over all of their equipment. Now we're talking about maybe rain and snow tomorrow. That's going to make it worse. And by the delay on doing the work there, it's just making it worse inside. The ceiling, like the ceiling tiles here, all that is just falling down. You got water on the floor. And at one time, we were talking about doing all three buildings, the museum, Real Source, and the wig building. If we could get those roofs on there, some nice roofs on there to get things going as far as, like I say, the summer programs, that would definitely help out. The Real Source right now, we're letting them use our office in the wig building to keep things going with the one-stop shop center. So whenever they can get back in their building, which they need that, I've talked to Kim and Cody about the different programs that they're doing, and we need some expert to expedite roof instead of just putting it off more and more and more because things just looking totally bad. I showed Commissioner Langston the video Cody sent me of what's going on in the Real Source building. It is terrible. And as far as having a summer program, if something don't happen at that building soon, they'll have to use our office, which is no problem because we're gonna work with them to make sure anything happen out there that's possible. Now, the bathrooms, I've mentioned about the bathrooms at the wig several times. We definitely need the extra toilet back in there that was already there. We definitely need the stalls that was already there. If we could get that put back in there, that would be great. I was told that you all would look into that. Whenever you look into it, we can definitely use that because we rent that building out quite a bit.
Okay, thank you. Jim, we've already voted to do that roof. What's the status of it?
We're on the contract. That is when we're ready to the interlocal agreement with the city and county to work together on it. That's been done, turned in. Contractor has been awarded the bid, waiting on him to get started. We actually went out back Friday, Mr. Grant and the crew went out there and fixed the tar on it the other day to make sure that we get some coverage on it. But yes, there desperately needs a roof on it. We're just waiting.
So you or John or both reach out to the roofer and find out their status, when they're gonna get started.
I called to the county last week and I'll be sure that they're planning to get started within 2 weeks.
And I need to talk to, I don't know about the heat. You know, they looking at that, as soon as, get back, they just think they'll be looking into that for us, but many times you check it.
Okay. Any more discussion on this motion of Washington Gym surrounding ground lease?
Just real quick, I just want to say that, Kim and Workforce, Lord, they do career source, they do a good job, and it don't cost the city anything, for that summer program. So I appreciate them doing it.
Yep, good deal. All right, all in favor, aye? Opposed, same sign, motion passed 5-0. All right, Public Works, Mr. Grant.
The only item I have is RFP 2024-24, and that was a plan that Dewberry put together to improve the elevation difference in the laminators that we would see in the battle.
Yep.
And it's here for your guys' discussion.
I see we got one bid, so, $87,100 do that work, and that is going to be a permanent fix.
It should be. I mean, we're changing elevation to the sidewalk. Yes.
Okay, all right. I'll entertain the motion for the low bidder and only bidder, North Florida Construction. Mr. Mason made the motion, there's a second. Second, Commissioner Kerrigan, discussion on the project. Anybody? All in favor, aye. Opposed, same sign, motion passed 5-0. All righty, surface water, who wants to give that report?
Mr. McClamon's under the weather today. Did have a conversation with him this morning. Staff is preparing for the inclement weather tonight on there, so we're trying to do everything we can for cold weather prayer because we are set for some of the pumps and stuff out of the water plants that we're hoping for the best. There for the weather.
Yep, okay. Any questions on that? All right, Mr. Kevin.
We prepped the cold weather as best we can and should be continue to run throughout the week. Tomorrow is going to be a little iffy. It's hard to get like sodium hypochlorite
doesn't like cold weather, so we might be able to have it. If not, then tomorrow will be a done day. We're gonna do the minimum crew tomorrow. I'll probably have 2 on site. Got 3'9" of our lagoon. That's our freeboard, so we're slowly making, really long. Still thinking this summer, we'll have to do a project as far as how do we get, we need longer. That's in the planning mode. Then next week, the 28th is the Master Unit Dollar presentation of our consumer word, the prep for the new plan. That's all I've got, Jody, unless you got questions for me.
Question, Kevin, anybody?
Thank you.
All right, let's remind everybody that's listening to the agenda of our plant evaluation workshop, which is on the 28th here at 11 o'clock. We'll have basketball Donovan, we'll have Kevin's crew, John, everybody on board. We issued an invitation to DEP. Let's see if they'll come. But hopefully they will. They need to hear everything we're doing. So that's it for wastewater. Mr. Pike, you got anything for us?
Mayor, I don't have any updates. I'm still working the grants and the FEMA reimbursements, but I don't have any.
Last meeting, you said you thought we were on the final leg of that FEMA.
Yes, I did follow up again with another email this past week, and they confirmed, yes, it is in final review.
Okay, good. Good deal. All righty, code enforcement.
Not a lot of new activity in the past 2 weeks, Mayor, continuing to work through the fairly cars and some of the substandard structures.
All right. Chief?
Yeah, before you guys, I have, K-9, personnel policy, for the police department. I think we've had, that I know of, 3 K-9s and never had a policy for K-9 policy. So, I wrote one and, said, look, before you and need your permission to implement that policy.
Did you, I assume you patterned it after some surrounding and tweaked it?
I had help from a accredited agency writing policy.
Very good. Yeah. All right, before you on page 46 to 53 is a K-9 policy for the police department. And something that's needed. Don't have any questions, I'll entertain a motion to approve it.
So,
Okay. Okay, Commissioner Lowry made the motion, Commissioner Hoffman second. Any discussion?
I just have one closing.
Okay.
Second. I see we're on page 48, you have a 2-hour minimum call out. I thought we had a 4-hour call out in the city. It's 2. Well, I guess we'll change that before I change the police department. See something that it should be 4 hours, but anyway, I'll leave it as it stands for now.
Okay. Anybody from the audience? All in favor, aye. Opposed, same sign, motion passed 5-0. All right. Question for the chief. You guys know about the destruction at the Reed Avenue bathrooms and probably saw the pictures. Chief is working on a fix, which is basically, you hate to do it, but institute a lot of cameras around the city in areas that we feel like are prone to problems. And so at some point in time, I know you got an email, looked at those, but talk to the chief and see what he recommends, and you can bring it to us and we'll decide if we can fund it.
Also, that is, what we give also up there from the store, to store. Well, for the feces,
Correct.
last week, just there. And we just started using the open a little bit.
Yeah.
So we trained a lot tomorrow.
Okay, anyway, any other questions for the chief? All right, Ms. Pierce,
I don't have any major changes in anything we're currently working on as far as looking for funding, working on everyday our clients. If y'all have any questions, I'll be happy to try to answer.
Okay. Anybody got any questions, Ms. Charlotte, France? Let's hope we get a lot coming in from our new grant. First, we call it that.
It's
Fundraising.
gonna take, people in City Hall providing the information they need, which is something we'll be working with them on, but just be aware we'll be their go-to source to get the information.
Thank you. Questions? All right. Citizens to be heard, please come forward if you have anything you'd like to bring our attention to. Okay.
Morning.
Oh,
Nicholas Delalo.
you already signed it. Okay.
Sorry.
All right.
Two things. One, I'd like to ask real quick about the Christmas parade. That it got moved. I didn't notice that until it happened, that it went to 98. Is there any particular reason for that? Because Reed Avenue is kind of cozy. It is what it is, and now it's not happening.
Chief, you want to respond to that?
We have so many, people apply. We have to shut down the whole circle from 98 to Garrison Avenue to be able to line up. It goes, so from Reed Avenue up to First Street and down First Street. When we get, plus a lot of the big trucks cannot make that turn going on to Reed Avenue. And people crowding. People were scared they were gonna run people over on Reed Avenue. Because everybody would crowd the parade route. So we moved it out to 98 because it's wider. We can line up on Monument Avenue and not have to shut anything down except for that little section on Monument Avenue there. When the parade starts, we shut the side roads down, run the parade through, and Reed Avenue is completely open for businesses to make money and park.
What's going to happen with the Fat Tuesday night when they have that? They throw all the beads and all that kind of thing.
Have you seen the Fat Tuesday parade? There's about 6 y'all call.
That's it. It's done. Okay. Well, we stay up down. They're gonna come down.
Yes.
Okay. All 6 of them.
Yeah, there was, I think this year 97 entrants to the
That's
to the Christmas parade. And from the Methodist church to almost 20th Street, they were lining completely up both sides. It's almost, it's almost getting too big where we're going to have to start limiting the number of entrants in that parade.
They just missed that coming through town.
And everybody would agree, but the safety concerns, it's
Fair enough.
it becomes pretty bad.
Can I get in 3 minutes? My next question.
Yeah.
I gave you guys, I actually met with everyone except Mr. Hoffman at the building there on Williams Avenue. I had an text you all a picture because I forgot to bring the renderings. But I wanted to basically get a feel from you now before I make this move to purchase the building, fix it, and rent it out to a couple that is from Port St. Joe who want to start their own business. And then eventually they will purchase it so they can create a life here with their family and kids and all that as it grows. I wanted to know if you guys have any objections, because Jim said I needed to get a special exception, is it? Special exception for that building to be a oil change, batteries, windshield wipers, that type of thing, and possibly tires. And I know everybody was kind of a little negative about the tire thing, but there won't be any tires there to get delivered if it happens. If it's 2 or 3 sets, who knows? But the tires would be delivered, stored, and at the end of the week, they'd be gone. There's not going to be anything outside, no engine voice. You know how I've done buildings on Reed Avenue and I've done other things, and I love this town and I like to make it nicer. That building has been sitting on the corner of Williams and 3rd Street since a storm. It's just blown out. It's a disaster. It looks like hell. And I'd like to do something with it. And that is the opportunity that we have. There would be 3 garage doors, as I explained, on 3rd Street. So Williams Avenue, I think people will come, ask for their oil change,
go into town, spend money, eat, do whatever they're doing. There would be 3 bays and maybe 30 minutes max. I mean, who knows? It could be less. I'm not a mechanic. That's his department. But the main thing was getting the special exception from the city. And I wanted to know before I made this step and this journey, if you guys were for it or against it, and how my fight would go with you.
Vote to the board. Discussion.
Whenever I met with you, my main concern was the city, that roadside parking.
Mhm.
That's probably my, I like the idea. I think it'd do well there. Definitely would clean the building up. It's just how to figure out that parking, on, 3rd Street there.
My
Because
suggestion,
that's basically city property.
agreed. My suggestion, after, I don't know if I discussed it with you or afterwards, but there's a sidewalk there. And I would need the cars to pull up to drive in. So there's 3 parking spaces parallel to the building. If I have 3 garage doors there obviously couldn't be parking, which we would be asking or taking away rather from the city. But in the front of the building on Reed, if it continued from the management place, there's a sewer there and a kind of cockeyed sidewalk that's put in. If we took that out, we could gain 3 spaces there. And I would pay for all that, take out the sidewalk on the side, put in concrete to drive into the building. And then in the front would be 3 that we gained. And I would pay to have that done, blacktop, whatever it was, to help the city. I'm not gonna ask you to pay for it. I'm asking for a favor, so I would give to get, basically. I'm not saying I want the property. I'm just saying that we kind of need that for the customer to pull up and be next in line. I know some of you had mentioned what would happens. Rex said, if a guy goes to lunch and his food ain't ready and he's gone for an hour, hour and a half, we could bring the car down to the Biden, whatever you want to call it, down there in the parking lot over by CVS. And then when the customer comes, they pay their bill. Here's your key. That's where the car is. Parking in our town is already a situation. I don't think that this is going to burden that. BJ's does car repair. He would love to not have anybody doing oil changes at his place and concentrate on making money on brakes and other things. So this would be good for the town. The people will park, go eat, spend money on Reed Avenue.
Any other comments?
My concern was, tire thing. I was one of the ones that don't think that it's appropriate to store tires on, downtown Reed Avenue. I mean, not Reed Avenue. Town did an oil change or
There is room inside to stack 20 tires, and a guy comes once a week, picks them up, takes them away. And if we needed to, we'll take them out sooner, but there will never be a tire or a battery. When that door is closed at 5 o'clock, you won't even know that it's an oil place. It's gonna be clean, nice, like the pictures I sent you, and it'll look like a regular business.
Yeah, I guess feedback is the concern with parking and whatnot. And I know you keep mentioning people can then go to Reed Avenue. We're at a point to where Reed Avenue downtown though will not just be Reed Avenue. Downtown will be Williams Avenue. It could even move a block even further north. And then now we're talking about, we all heard different developments and stuff want to take place at the Baptist church and whatnot. We're going to see that downtown district expand, and we as board member have to start. I mean, the one thing we have to think about is what direction do we want to see things grow? What type of businesses you want coming in? Because that's going to but I think at the end of the day, what we have to think about is our growth and where we put what types of business.
Any business in Port St. Joe is great. Number one, but let's just say a tourist
comes, is on vacation and wants to go to Reed to eat, maybe they will spend money at a new business and have their oil changed at a business.
Let me make a comment, that I indicated to you some of my concerns.
Understood.
But I mean, I really get excited when young people especially, want to start a business. I think this oil change tire thing is a great business that will be successful. But I just don't think that's the place for it. I know these two will be successful with this business, but that is looking at the future. I just don't think that's the place for it. I see too many red flags coming down the road. It sounds great. Everything you're doing sounds great in theory, but in reality, we all know about oil change and tire prices, and it just that's my main concern. I do believe the downtown merchants would have a little problem with that situation, and I think they're going to do well, but I just don't think that's the place for it, and that's my opinion.
So in order for me to get the variance or the special exception, I do the application and all that stuff. From what I'm hearing, this isn't the spot.
It appears to me what I'm hearing here today is it would be difficult probably to get approved. But things change and people change. So, I mean, if you feel like that's under this spot, then go before the BDRB and see if they'll give you a special exception and have brought to us. And then we have final say.
Understood. Okay.
All right.
I need the feedback.
I wouldn't discourage you from not going to the board to see if you get a special exception or whatever. Because like Mr. Moore said, change and if you show me where you know take the tires off, store them, get them out of here within by the time where they want to accumulate. Hey, let me see that. Give me an idea how you're gonna do that. And my concern is storage of the tires. You know, that's my main concern. Is tires and equipment and everything right there outside of it. It's right, I see the fences in the back right there. That's my only concern.
Understood. Should I go to all the businesses around and ask?
I think that would be a great idea.
Okay.
I mean, it'd be like you did, coming into any new business, you would reach out to the,
Get that feedback as
to
well.
the businesses around it and whatnot, and think of it from the same line of, okay, say if it wasn't that building, what if it was one of the blank, the lots across the street to view on Reed Avenue? Put it there. You may get a little bit different opinion from different people depending on where they're located.
Thank you.
One thing, Nick.
Yes, sir.
Before you go, I think what I would like to see is, a layout on paper showing where you're gonna move that parking places. And I believe that's a stormwater drain. It is, right there. So,
Okay.
Thank you, Nick.
Yes.
Young man that's interested in opening this business, would like to make some comments. If you would sign in, please, sir, state your name and address.
he's already signed.
Love to hear from him. He's already signed
Yeah,
in.
he signed in earlier.
Okay, good deal.
Good afternoon.
Name.
My name is Glenn Ketterson.
Okay.
Nick said just about everything, but I'm the mechanic, he's the businessman. But, I did want to stress, the tires were a big one. And it was something to me too, but it's important for my wife and I that it doesn't look like a mechanic shop. I mean, it's not a mechanic shop. I don't know if there's probably a way to say it, but kind of like a hair salon. You go in, get your service, and you leave. Nothing stays, nothing. I've already talked, used tires, off-site storage.
being a storage unit that I'll pay for separately or whatever. That'd be a part of a nightly duty, like sweeping the floor and washing the windows, you know. Nothing visible from outside. I know parking is an issue. Her and I, we've contacted a business that handles only in oil change service for scheduling, online scheduling. I really want to stress out, we'll do what we need to parking and all that, but it's important to us and Nick that it does look like something that belongs in our cityscape. From the, when we look at it from walking down Reed Avenue, you know, that building aesthetically needs some improvement. She's an interior designer. I mean, my business before, I always got compliments. People come in, like, your shop is immaculate. I keep it very clean and tidy, but it's not a mechanic shop. It's something the community needs for quick oil change, 15 minutes. We don't have that. Everybody that I know that I talk to that asks me for oil changes, but I don't have the time for another job that I have, they got to go to Panama, and we're outsourcing all of that. Tires, yes. I mean, I have equipment, but I get tires really quick. Like I said, there's no storage. Noise, that's an issue. Mechanic work isn't really noisy anymore. I will need an air compressor, but they'll be inside and insulated. Everything else is electric. Anything you all might have that we want to work on, you know, I'd love to talk to you about it. But the cityscape is important to us for sure.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
I got a question.
Okay.
So it's 3 bays.
3 bays.
Would the bay doors be open or closed during the oil change and tires?
I think open. We're not going to air condition it. I mean, regardless, I don't know. To me, I think we're going to be pretty quick in and out, 15 minutes, open the door every single time. I'd rather just keep them open.
Well, and the reason I ask is I hear a lot of emphasis on you want it to match downtown area. You want it to match other businesses, and I like that. But in reality, if you're not going to air condition the work area, bay area, the doors are going to be open. You can't stay in summer and change oil unless they're open.
For sure.
And that's where you'll get complaints. You'll get issues. And I think we currently have a city ordinance that talks about changing oil and stuff. Because if you'll recall, when that business on the highway, which I think now a private person owns that business, built it, but it was going to be a oil change tire place. And I remember that ordinance came up that included that. It might have just been on that highway. But I think that's where the drawback would come from. And back to Nick's statement that any new business is great business. Well, not inside joke. That doesn't work. I mean, we literally 4 months ago had a business on Reed put out the word that they were going to start a new business and they were going to offer some CBD, totally legal products. And oh my word, Facebook just blew up, you know, just beating this new business person up over the product. So that's what will happen. I guarantee you that's what will happen with this idea. And I think, like the mayor said, I think it's very successful, but it might not be the spot to make you successful. Because you'd be going into a brand new business with other business owners are already saying things. You might go up down Reed Avenue and ask them face to face, and they'll tell you that they love it. They're going to call the city and tell us that they hate it, they don't want it. And I know a little bit about those types of shops because my brother-in-law owns a tire and oil place in Monterey. He's actually the mayor of Monterey, and Barry Cook. And he's been in that business for a long, long time, and it's very successful. One of the things that it helps him be successful is the bond. you have got to have volume of people. And to have volume, you have to have parking. Because you can't do one oil change and that person leaves, and then right at that exact moment, the next person pulls in and takes that spot. It doesn't work that way. You gotta do a lot of oil changes, to make a good living.
All right, I'm sorry, we gotta move on. We got a 2 o'clock deadline. Let the city boys go home. We got this bad weather coming in. And we're not adjourned by any means, but we do, not normally, we don't have this issue, but today we do. So, everybody be careful. Any more citizens for a quick comment? Anybody? Okay, anybody got a discussion?
You know, I have one short thing, and thanks to Nick for bringing it up. Can we take down that Biden sign on our park?
I would think we should.
I know what it has to do. I mean, we raised our flag by the direction of the new president. I would say, yeah, take it down if they tell us to put it.
Ask forgiveness instead of permission.
President. Yeah,
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you got your orders there. Anybody else up here? All right, we'll stand adjourned. Everybody be safe. And stay in, please stay off the roads.